Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, one I know a lot of people are looking for, and that is how to put in an impact screen in your garage, for a home simulator. Who doesn't want to be able to see what they're hitting into right in front of them, give them that full simulator experience? So what I've got going on today is I've got a impact screen that I was able to get from a friend who works in the golf industry. They were changing out the screens in their bay. This one was going to be discarded, so I was able to get this from them. But the problem is there's no enclosure, nothing to hang it up. So what I was able to grab right off of Amazon, because Duffs and Darts, it's all about getting better, improving on a budget, on a dime, is a hanging curtain track that goes right into the ceiling that we're going to connect to. This kit's on Amazon. It's about $30 for 20 feet. Now my opening between my tracks is about 16 feet. I gave myself 20, gave myself 4 feet down the side, because what I want to be able to do is after I hang it, I want to be able to pull it off to the side, so that way my wife can still park her car in the garage, and it's easily to put back in place whenever we're going to go hit it. So today, we're going to go ahead and put it right there in the ceiling. Never hung one of these before. Take you along with me, learn a little something. Let's go. First thing we have to do for the installation of this, curtain track here in the ceiling is we have to straighten it out. See, right now, it's not straight. One thing you can do that some past, installer, customers have recommended is laying it out flat for a couple of days, put something heavy on top of it. Me, I'm not going to follow that advice. I'm just going to lay it out flat, but I'm going to put a weight on top of it as I prep everything else, so that way it at least has some time to relax. It's metal. It's mostly going to be straight. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I don't do this for a living, but we'll figure it out.
After you lay out your track, be sure to measure to make sure that it's the right length for your project. Last thing you want to do is go hang it and have it not be long enough to fit what you need. After that, I measured out my distance between my door and then where I wanted the bend to begin.
So I wrote right here on the instructions, it tells you kind of what to do here. I measured up the width I wanted it to be right here. This is my garage door, so I'm going to go 12 feet this way at the 12-foot mark. I'm going to go down along my shelves over here on the side. That way it's going to be able to bungee to the side, and that's going to still stay clear of the garage door track, so that way we won't get binded up on that at all. But we still got more than enough room for the projector to project that screen on there when we're, hitting balls. Don't forget a golf pencil to mark your spots.
Now that I know how far I need each bracket, I jumped up on the ladder and measured it out. I did it this way just to make sure I didn't run into any issues with that shelf hanging from the ceiling I already have.
I'm at my point where I want my track to start bending, so now I'm going to start following it down the track rail. So I'm going to measure out. So I'm going to do a right angle here, so I've got 18 inches and 18 inches, and then I'll find the intersect point, and that's where I'll put my bracket, and I'm going to work my way down the side here until I get over here to the corner. Got all my pilot holes kind of, measured out 18 inches apart. It says you can go 16 to 20 inches. I split the difference and went 18 inches all the way through, especially since I've got a lot of brackets. I've got 20 feet of flexible curtain track here to hang, and I'm going to be hitting into it. I figured 18 inches, split the difference, probably going to be better to support the impact of the ball into the impact screen. So now what I need to do is I need to head up on the ladder, and I need to actually start drilling into the ceiling and start hanging all the brackets. So I've gone ahead and thrown the tool belt on. I've got all of my, screws and anchors here. And then on the other pocket, so that way I'm prepared, I've got all of my ceiling mounts ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start hanging these. Everything's been kind of marked, so it's a matter of just getting up on the ladder, checking with the stud finder to see if I've got a stud underneath of it. If I have a stud underneath of it, I won't need to use the anchors. I'll just go directly into the wood. And if not, then I'll just, use the pilot hole, and I will go ahead and, put an anchor in. Next step, up on the ladder.
Following your marks on the ceiling that you've already put on there for your spacing, go ahead and drill the pilot holes so that way you can go ahead and put in your brackets and your anchors.
I'm switching out to some of these bigger drywall anchors. So these are easy to get at any hardware store. They don't come in the kit, but I'm going to add one of these to every bracket. So that way it'll be one of these and then one of the anchors that came with it to kind of just give it a little extra reinforcement.
If you're not adding the track directly into a stud, I highly recommend adding those drywall anchors to this project. It's going to give you better support and it's going to hold the track up a lot better over time, especially with all the impact. Now that I have all my brackets to the ceiling, it's time to remove the plastic from the track and start hanging it.
There's a little hinge type mechanism in here that gives way. What you're going to do is it's flat on both sides, and you're going to just put it on the hook side and snap it into place. And if it's not in line, you just pull the little hinge part back and go along down your track and just go one line at a time all the way through. And then once it's on there, we'll be able to put on our rollers before we put our caps on.
It's really easy to hang it into space. One thing that I did notice though is that the first couple were a little bit harder just because of the weight of the full track pulling down on it, but once you get the first 2 or 3 brackets in place, it's really easy to kind of go along your line and get everything in the right position. The curve was just as easy. You just kind of work your way through and snap them all into place. You can see here that it's very easy to do. It slides right in, easily gives way, and it's very minimal effort to get it actually attached to the brackets in the ceiling.
Once you get the track hung up to the ceiling to whatever, format you need, whether it's a straight line, curve, whatever it is. Me, I'm curving it because I'm getting it out of the way. The last thing you need to do before you're completely done with the hanging part is get all the rollers on there. Now this is already set up to roll straight down the side. There's a little hook there. The kit that I have actually comes with these little clips. That's how I'm going to clip my impact screen to it all the way down. So what you do is you just hook these in like that, and then you just take a pair of needle nose pliers and crimp that down, or you can just use your finger. It's not a lot of weight to it. Hopefully this works for the impact screen. We'll see. We can always adjust after that, but this is the low-cost solution that we're going with today. Well, once you have your track hung up and all of your rollers ready to go, just go ahead and come on down to an end and just pinch it right through the middle. It'll fit right down, and just fill it up all the way down. All right, now it's time to hang the curtain. So I'm at the last step here. I'm again doing this all by myself, a little bit easier if you have a partner. I have my impact screen, impact curtain ready to go. Now you could use like a drop cloth, or you could use like a, photography backdrop, something like that. Those things will wear out in time. This again was once in a fitting studio at a PGA fitting studio, so to speak. It was used for a lot of people. They're changing it out, putting a different one in there. I was able to get it from a friend that way. So what I'm going to do, got this little stick here. I'm going to take about half of my little hangers. I'm going to push them down towards the end. I'm going to clip a bunch over here, and I'm going to clip the end, and then I will kind of evenly distribute it and hope everything works out.
If you're doing this by yourself, I suggest doing what I did. I took a garbage can, I put a pad on top of it, and then I put my curtain on top of that to support the weight. And then I moved the clips to both sides of the curtain and then worked my way to the middle. That way I was able to spread out the weight, start having it clipped up, and then that way it wasn't pulling all the way down on 1 or 2 clips when I was trying to hang it.
So this is a low budget, low cost, not low effort, because it took a little bit of time, but it is a cost-efficient way to go ahead and get an impact screen set up for you in your garage. As you can see, it takes up the width of my garage here. I have a net right behind it, so that way any low shot, since it doesn't go all the way down to the ground, is able to catch the shots, but it does the trick. It's right in front of me. I've got my short throw projector on there, which, my projector's only, $150. It's not a super expensive setup. It does the trick. I'm able to move everything out of the way when I'm all done playing, and the best thing of all is that it's so easy that anybody can do it at home, even if you're not in the trades. I'm not in the trades. It's not something I do, and I was able to install this pretty easily. So if this helped you out a little bit, gave you a solution, gave you an idea of what you can do in your own golf space to be able to put up an impact screen, but also be able to take it down, because it's, for me, I'm in the Midwest, it's winter, my wife's got to park in the garage, so I can move it out of the way, put it back. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and, think about, subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep grinding.